Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. And I just saw the new announcement of CBT certification process, so I'm really curious about it. I want to learn more, and my next questions will be about this. Could you briefly explain what are the new changes and how the certification process works, and what therapists can expect along the way?
Well,
And
I'll
perhaps
start and then Dr. Chernoff, maybe you can pitch in. We are really excited about the new part of certification. It's going to have two levels. We have spent a long time trying to figure out how we could make this process more accessible to people. And I think having this two-level process is going to open doors to people who just couldn't do it before. So Dr. Chernoff, maybe you can give the details.
absolutely, Dr. Beck. So as Dr. Beck just mentioned, we have had so many different thoughts and successes with our existing certification process. And yet we have been receiving feedback for a number of years that only select clinicians are able to participate and register once they have gained the experience. And yet some of the earlier current clinicians that perhaps don't have the 2,000 hours still want to join in and learn and participate and really set themselves on this path, right? So, first thing I want to highlight is our exceptionally high standards have not changed, but we're allowing folks to enter into this path a little bit earlier. So in this first phase, as Dr. Beck mentioned, we are breaking down our certified clinician pathway into two phases. Trainees and individuals can come and register at Beck Institute website without having any experience. They could be a student and they can start their journey right there and then, as long as they have that passion, that curiosity, that willingness to learn. From there, they would proceed and take the 4 required courses, the foundational courses that Dr. Mel Stroop is going to be teaching very, very soon. So those courses are Essentials 1, the basics of CBT, CBT for depression, CBT for anxiety, and CBT for personality disorders. So really the content of the coursework has not changed, and they're still very much required because we truly believe that those are the pieces that are so foundational to somebody practicing good CBT. The new piece that we're inserting at that point is something that we're going to call a CBT knowledge exam. Right? So at that point, after completing the 4 foundational courses, we will invite the trainees to take an examination. It's 100 questions that covers all of the foundations. And what is most exciting for me is that at that point, upon passing the knowledge exam, they actually get their first recognition, their first certificate from Beck Institute. And that will be a certificate in theoretical foundations of CBT. We really wanted to provide that recognition to folks a little bit earlier, right? To highlight their willingness and interest in learning, right? And give them some of that positive reinforcement even in that part of the process, right? So once a trainee has received that specific certificate, that acknowledgement of their understanding of the theory, right? Then they would proceed to a course called CBT in Practice, which really shifts from the theoretical concepts and the knowledge sort of base of CBT to how do we actually do CBT? When we walk into the session, how do we set an agenda? How do we select topics to talk about with the clients? How do we pace a session appropriately? And what does a collaboration look like? We talk about collaborating with the client, but what do I actually do to do this effectively in a way that helps a person sitting in front of me, right? So that course covers all of those very important practice components. And then we hope that once our trainees take that course, they will be very nicely set up for the next step of certification, which is supervision. Right. So we have not changed much about our supervision process at this point, and our trainees will still have an option of taking supervision on an individual basis, one-on-one with a supervisor, one of our international faculty, such as Dr. Melstrom, or they can participate in group supervision and really benefit from so many different perspectives of folks from all over the world who are practicing and training and learning how to do CBT together. Okay. Now, once CBT in practice course has been completed and supervision has been passed, our trainees will very much still be asked to submit a work sample, which Aslam, you know what that's about, right? It's really the accumulation of all the work that you have done, both in theory and practice. So we ask that individuals select a case that they have not discussed in supervision previously. They write it up, just like Dr. Beck demonstrates in Basics and Beyond, third edition. We ask that they submit cognitive conceptualization diagrams along with their write-up. And most importantly, submit a transcript, an audio recording, or a video recording of an actual session with that client. And all of this goes to our fantastic certification committee that reviews the quality of the work and then really determines whether or not somebody has qualified, has met that bar to become a certified clinician. So really, once again, just to summarize, the high standard has not changed. However, we're trying to really break down this lengthy process into more manageable pieces and really give individuals an opportunity to start the program earlier and therefore increase access to all of this fantastic learning that hope that they're going to take to heart.